Wait for it, wait for it. It's the best part right here. It's the best part. Turn that shit up. History Controversy. This is History Controversy Live, 2:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 7, 2015. Needed that little boost. Why do people continue to support Gabriel Rosado? He has 9 defeats. He hasn't won since 2012. It's because, now I know it's going to sound a little cheesy, but it's because Rocky Balboa, if I'm correct, had something like 22, 24 defeats or something old crazy like that. Arturo Gatti, Orlando Salido, Emmanuel Augustus. People, when they watch these fighters, because why? Is because they take on all comers that they can fight. They don't quit. They keep going, and they provide the fans the bloodthirst that we crave. And that's what you watch boxing for, is to see the best fight the best. Gabriel Rosado can headline a card right now, and guess what? People will watch and it will sell. Why? It's because he fights the best. So, I am T-Street Controversy for RealCombatMedia.com. I cover every single major fight live. Boxing News is the place where I want you to go for everything. So soon, we're going to just leave that part at that. Anyway, he's going to be starring in the new, one of the stars of the new Apollo Creed movie. Apollo Creed's son is actually, his name is going to be Adonis Creed. The movie's called Creed. It's coming out at the end of this year, 2015. Sylvester Stallone will be reprising his role as Rocky Balboa. And basically, this is a Rocky movie. It's a spinoff from a Rocky movie, but it's a Rocky movie. There's a certain amount of prestige that comes with being involved with a Rocky movie. Now, when you look at what the Rocky movie did for Antonio Tarver, putting on all that weight is actually the weight he walks around at right now, didn't do so well for his light heavyweight career, having to cut like 50, 60 plus pounds or some old craziness like that. But now you got Gabriel Rosado, who, pretty much is going to be fighting at the same weight that he fights. Starring at the same weight that he fights it. But also, there's another part of the story too. Gabriel Rosado may be taking on Curtis Stevens in BKB, bare knuckle boxing. Let me tell you what bare knuckle boxing is. See, I even tricked myself. Bare knuckle BKB is big knockout boxing, not bare knuckle boxing. That's how they trick you. So you fight in either 8 or 10 ounce gloves, depending on the weight. And also the ring is a 17-foot diameter circle. It's a circle. So therefore there is no ropes. There's a referee right there, where there's Kenny Bayless, Tony Weeks, a high profile referee. And basically it encourages, it is built for phone booth inside fighting. So a guy like Curtis Stevens would thrive in BKB. Guy like Marcos Maidana, Orlando Salido. Did I say Orlando Salido and something else? Let me not refer to him. Guys like Omar Figueroa, Bermain Stavern, guys that fight on the inside, guys that want to lumber towards you and just throw punches and just really want to fight. It's designed for that. There's no running. So therefore it's designed for someone to get beat down and for a lot of punches to be thrown and for it to be high action. The presentation is actually pretty good. Look it up on YouTube. It's like this dark ass arena. Then it's like a little small circle. Then it's like no ringside or nothing. It's just just this barren little circle. But anyway, moving on. Curtis Stevens is in a situation that's somewhat of an enigma. You know why? It's because you don't know what or who he is. Now look at his last fight against Hassan N'Dam. All he did was move, and a fighter like Curtis Stevens. If I can take away his strength, which is him fighting on the inside, then I can pretty much beat him. I look at him as being, Sean Porter is a better skilled fighter, don't get me wrong, but somewhat of a similar fight style to whereas in maybe if Curtis Stevens was as aggressive as a Sean Porter in a higher weight division, then, he would be more successful. But when you're just following Hassan Endam just around the ring, and significant issues with cutting off the ring, I ask myself, well, what kind of fighter are you? Look at the fight against Turiano Johnson. Turiano Johnson is right now the WBC silver champion. Long story. But that was kind of a controversial stoppage. But then again, if I'm correct, I covered that fight. I remember Turiano Johnson turning around. And basically, if you turn around and, going to cover up, that's almost like submitting. He didn't cover up, but he turned his back and, to Curtis Stevens and the ref. I forgot exactly how it went down, but I'm pretty sure it was that fight. But long story short, he was losing that fight, or he may have lost that fight if it had went to the cards. So then there's the Gennady Golovkin fight. And it was a fight before that. I believe it was Patrick Majewski when he knocked him out in like the first round. I know I'm throwing a lot of names at you. I cover a lot of fights, so I'm trying to remember if that was the one. Long story short, BKB, Big Knockout Boxing, would work perfectly for him. It would work for a fighter like him. But as far as, a professional boxing ring, I just don't know. And when he beat a Gabriel Rosado in a professional boxing match at 160 pounds, that's a fight I would want to see. And I'm thinking, well, I guess it would be bigger money in the BKB fight than it would be on maybe an HBO, or something like that. I don't know. But, can Gabriel Rosado beat him in a boxing ring? Yes. Can he beat him in a BKB? I don't know. I don't think so. But expect to see a good fight. They're going to charge us for pay-per-view. I believe it's like $30 or something. If they do, of course, I will be buying it. I will be covering it. And if you didn't see the Gabriel Rosado versus Brian Vera BKB fight, then look it up. I'm sure you'll have no problem finding it. T-Street Controversy on RealCombatMedia.com. I cover every single major fight live. News, predictions, press conferences, weigh-ins, post-fights, etc. The next fight I will be going to, I don't know if I'm going to Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson yet, but I'm definitely going to Vladimir Klitschko versus Brian Jennings, and that's as the media. So I'll have all that footage, associated with that fight. You can go check my channel for the stuff that I have now. A couple interviews with Brian Jennings before the initial press conference, and then I got all that initial press conference stuff. Please subscribe, T-Street Controversy, T-Street Controversy Live.